Welcome back. Watson Duke, he's given me some of the best stories of my career.
So you threatening to kill me? Right. Watson, you threatening to kill me, boy?
Run.
Stop public place. Right now, we have to call a forced arrest right now. Forced arrest.
Run.
How much what? 3.5 thousand.
Love him or hate him, since he took over the PSA in 2009, he's become a force in the trade union movement. So much so that he's fallen out of favor with half of them and then fallen back in favor with the rest of them. Over the last 11 years, he's been at the helm. He's fallen out with everybody except his membership. His staff, well, that's another story.
Well, in an odd turn of events, members of the Public Service Association are expected to protest against PSA President Watson Duke at 5 p.m. this evening. In a release sent out by Jean Edwards on behalf of Bankers Insurance and General Workers Union President Vincent Cabrera, it was said that workers will be picketing the offices of PSA in protest against the treatment meted out to them by Mr. Duke.
Yeah, PSA office staff went to another union to protest their employer, who heads a union. I swear, I don't write these things. Members of the executive know exactly how they feel because over the years, various executive members have complained about how he treats the PSA as his own personal business, or his monarchy. He does call himself the Duke of Abercrombie. And if you cross him, you're out. Off with your head. But more on that in a bit. But so far, Duke has definitely built himself to be a bigger brand than the PSA.
Good morning, my Facebook people.
But more than the antics we've come to tolerate from Mr. Duke, there are still bylaws that the PSA president must adhere to. But the PSA has not held a legitimate election since 2013.
There are some members who have been clamoring for PSA elections. And in 2015, when the date was set, they ran to the court and they stopped the elections. Those members are saying, why isn't Duke keeping the elections? They placed an injunction against the elections.
And there have been so many injunctions, he didn't even know that that was the wrong date. The election was supposed to be in November 2017, not 2015. And since then, it's been injunction after injunction, delay after delay. But one of the slates, the PSA fixers, PSA presidential candidate Solomon Gabriel said they went to the courts to stop the election because there were issues with the voters list. Then Justice Frank Sipasad, my dear Frank, granted an injunction giving the PSA time to publish the voters list. And then the new election date was February 19th, 2018. Then Justice Nadia Kangaloo voted that that voters list was void, and Duke was given an opportunity with his executive to set a new election date. And we finally got that last month.
On November 23rd, that's Monday, November 23rd, 2020, the PSA will be having its general elections. Again, I take this opportunity for thanking the members who have supported me over the years. I do intend to run again, as I said. I intend to run again with a strong team, and I am looking forward for your support. I'm looking forward for your vote. But whatever the results is, I am here, and may the best man win. I hold no grudge, I hold no malice, and I say to my competitors, there are many out there, I say to them, let's fight the game fair, let's engage in petty pecan, but no nastiness. The stink and dirty thing, will leave that out.
And remember I said that Duke has had strained relationships with everybody? Well, he's even had one with his own leadership. A few times a year, he tells everyone, oh, he's stepping down. In fact, before the 2017 election, he said he was stepping down and then changed his mind.
That my mind is now made up that I will be running for the presidency of the PSA for a year.
And then again last year, he said he was resigning from the PSA and even gave a date.
In my career as a PSA president, where I'll be leaving the PSA, obviously. All right? I'll be leaving the PSA this year, November 30th. 1st of December, I will become a full-time, fully dedicated representative of the Tobago House of Assembly in the capacity as minority leader.
You see, Duke had genuinely thought he'd be taking the Tobago East seat in the general election.
I said to the people of Tobago that this election will be 20 for the PNM, 19 for the UNC. I say you will hold the balance of the power with the two. I say give us those two. I said you will not regret it. Give us those two seats. I said it to them.
But they did not give it to you.
No.
Why? Why you think? You must have reviewed your position.
Let me say this, and I want to be broad enough to say that people in Trinidad and Tobago are suffering from political fatigue, and much people throughout the world are suffering from the same thing. Politicians are talking, and when they get into power, they are not doing, giving the rest of politicians a bad name. So it now comes down to what you could do for me now. I don't want to hear your plans in the future. Yes, you have good plans, but what could you do for me now?
And while he fought a good fight, he was hampered by his run-ins with the law. He still has a rape charge against him. And the PNM also ran a pretty strong campaign linking him to the UNC, saying that he was a proxy member. So, here we are in 2020. No seat in Parliament. His term as THA minority leader is coming to an end. What do? Well, you go where it feels like home. Side note, it's why Duke doesn't even want to contest the THA election properly. He's leaving Farley Augustine to fight for THA Chief Secretary. But this is how Dukes. If the PDP remains the opposition in the THA, he might still want to be the minority leader. What? I know. It's going to be exciting. Yeah! Now, remember when I said that he's not great with his executive? His main challenger is Nixon Callender, Duke's former right-hand man fighting side by side with him in the video that I showed earlier. He used to be the Robin to Duke's Batman. If Batman got sued for assault, but he left Robin to fight the charges alone.
A lot of court judgments that were handed down against us. Yes, against us. Even in the treatment of our workers in the PSA, where that issue where those 11 PSA members were terminated under Watson Duke for engaging in trade union activities. Yes, we made history for all the wrong reasons. Then there is the court matters that were all lost by the former executive officers of the PSA and based on the actions again of the leadership of the organization. So there were countless judgments handed down against the PSA. Hence, the reason the PSA has to amend its bylaws as how it deals with discipline, how it executes discipline, and also how it manages the organization.
Now, also running against Duke is Oral Saunders. He was also in that fight video I showed you at the beginning of this segment. But he was the one who was going to have the glass embedded in his flesh.
United Public Officers led by Oral Saunders were the first to arrive, as he told the PSA media they represent the future.
All the other competitors, they represent the past that you, the members, have grown fed up with. Lack of representation, non-compliance to our constitution, poor management skills, greed, licorousness.
So although those two are competing, they both agree that the way Duke has suspended members of his executive weren't just morally wrong, but were financially costly to the union. It appears Duke is taking this election seriously though. No, I did not Photoshop that picture. That is his actual campaign photo. You know, I guess he got tired of trying to swim to Tobago to protest the problems on the Sea Bridge. Now he's going to fly to protest Cal job cuts. I'm a little airplane, yow, yow, and wangity wang. Anyway, Duke will Duke. Anything he does it with style.
Feeding the game changer slate, they proceeded to King's Court in single file, very confident of the November 23rd polls ahead. Duke was met by leader of concerned public officers slate, Curtis Coffey, who also chose Friday to file nomination papers. After submitting his nomination papers, Watson Duke reminded members why his game changer slate is the best slate to support on November 23rd.
It's a high level of disorganization. They seem to be not confident or unsure. This team here, they're ready for the job. Their dress code says they're organized. It says they're prepared to navigate even in a rough weather or challenging circumstances.
So now you're caught up. At least Duke has promised me that the election will go on as promised. And who knows, with him, stranger things have definitely happened. Let's take a break.